This is Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review with your NFL Wildcard Weekend betting preview as we take a look at all four Wildcard Weekend matchups taking place. It's do or die time. No more room for error in the NFL. You lose and you go home. As the playoffs get underway this weekend, let's take a look at the first wildcard weekend matchup Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Oakland Raiders taking on the Houston Texans. Houston, a 3.5-point favorite, total of 37, and pretty clear to see why this is the lowest total on the board in wildcard weekend. You've got quarterback problems everywhere. Oakland will be starting Connor Cook, Michigan State alum, at quarterback. It's the first time that a rookie quarterback has made his first NFL start in a playoff game. And boy, that's definitely going to be an interesting development here for the Oakland Raiders. But one thing I am interested in to see, and what I think is a positive here for the Oakland Raiders, is a lot of the players are saying, we're confident in Connor Cook. We believe we can win this football game. I mean, you wouldn't have known that Oakland had any belief the way they played in Denver last week. It was a terrible performance on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. But from all the quotes, Michael Crabtree, Bruce Irvin, all the veterans on this Oakland Raiders team on both sides of the ball saying they really do have faith in Connor Cook. They're going to do everything they can to win this game, and that last week is something they want to make amends for. And I will be honest, Houston Texans, I know Oakland, world of hurt. We don't know Connor Cook, how he's going to play on the road, making his first ever start in a playoff game. That's not a situation that is usually a bet-on situation by any stretch, but it's a leap of faith, in my opinion, to lay more than a field goal with Houston. I mean, we're talking about Brock Osweiler back in at quarterback, largely because Tom Savage can't play due to that concussion issue. And when you look at Brock Osweiler, there's still a lot of issues with his game, makes bad decisions. They're going to have to rely on defense. There's no denying that. And it is worth noting, before I continue breaking the rest of these games down, there is a powerful, and I mean powerful, betting angle since 2002 in the wildcard round in terms of strength of schedule. If you bet on the team that has the stronger strength of schedule in the wildcard round, and have done that in every game since 2002, bet on the team with the tougher strength of schedule during the regular season using the Jeff Sagarin NFL strength of schedule ratings, that those teams are 40-16 straight up, 40-15-1 against the spread since 2002. 73% winning action in the wildcard round, regardless of the price, regardless of favorite or underdog, regardless of where the game is being played. If you just strictly bet the team with the stronger strength of schedule, we are talking about 40-16 straight up, 40-15-1 against the spread in the wildcard round since 2002. The four teams that qualify: Oakland, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and the New York Giants. Oakland is one of those teams. For that reason, I'm going to lean to the Raiders plus 3.5. And let's be honest, I'm not just talking about that angle. You don't want to blindly bet on this angle, even as strong as it is, 40-15-1, 73% since 2002. But at the same time, I'm going to need a damn good reason to bet against teams that fit this angle of the higher strength of schedule, the tougher strength of schedule during the regular season. Oakland had the tougher strength of schedule than Houston. They are the team catching points. Houston's offense is not a team that I trust laying more than a field goal. So for that reason, I'm going to recommend Oakland plus 3.5. It's going to be a very small play for me. We're still talking about Connor Cook and this Oakland passing game, which you just don't know if it's going to work. They're going to have to really rely on Latavius Murray and Jalen Richard at running back, but still will lean to the Oakland Raiders here, plus 3.5 against the Houston Texans. It wouldn't shock me if they win outright, and like I said, Houston laying more than a field goal, as good as their defense is, that's not something I want to do. Detroit-Seattle, NFC wildcard game, Saturday, 8:15 kickoff. Seattle, 8-point favorite at home, total 43.5 pretty much across the board. The Detroit Lions, I think offensively, they might be able to pick on Seattle a little bit. Look at Seattle the last couple of weeks. They faced Arizona, Carson Palmer, and an offense that underachieved all season, and Colin Kaepernick and the 49ers in their last two games. They allowed those two quarterbacks and two mediocre offenses to throw the football at will against them. They threw a ton of passing yards, some touchdowns, And just, we're able to move the ball against this Seattle team. And I'm telling you, this Seattle defense, not the same unit without Earl Thomas, especially pass defense. It's just not quite that same staunch Seahawks secondary that we have been accustomed to seeing in years past. And that's a concern here because Matt Stafford, even with the problem with his finger on the throwing hand, he can still make some plays. You still got Golden Tate, Marvin Jones, Eric Ebron at tight end has been good, Anquan Bolden. There's a bunch of targets that he can get the football to in the passing game and make some plays against this Seattle secondary, which, let's be honest, pass defense is not that scary Seattle pass defense anymore like it was years ago. LOB, Legion of Boom. Remember that legendary Richard Sherman speech after they beat San Francisco in the NFC title game that year? Yeah, it's not that same group, all right? It's a shell of that secondary. And that Earl Thomas injury is an absolute impact injury for the Seattle Seahawks on that side of the ball. The problem is Detroit's defense, 32nd, dead last in the NFL on Football Outsiders advanced defensive charts. That's not good. That's not good as well facing Seattle team. Russell Wilson, mobile quarterback, can get out of the pocket, extend plays with his mobility, similar to what Aaron Rodgers was able to do against Detroit last week in the season finale. That's a problem for Detroit. Pass rush wasn't great on Aaron Rodgers last week, and even if it does get there, you got a mobile quarterback that can escape it and still be able to make plays down the field. It's a game that where both teams might be able to have some success offensively. I'd certainly lean and agree, actually, with the slight move upward in the total for this game. It doesn't look like weather's going to be too bad. Minimal precipitation, not much wind. Detroit hasn't won a road playoff game in their history. They're in tough here. They might be able to put up points. I don't know if I trust their defense to get stops. It's a lot to lay with Seattle. It's a lot to lay in a playoff game, but this is just a game I do not see Detroit winning. So side-wise, I'd have to lean a little bit to the Seahawks. All right, let's go to Sunday, January 8, Miami taking on Pittsburgh. This is going to be the play of the video best bet for wildcard weekend. And this, to me, we talk about Pittsburgh as the only favorite in wildcard weekend that fits that strength of schedule betting angle that's gone 40-15-1 against the spread in the wildcard round since 2002. Pittsburgh's the only favorite of this weekend's 4 games that fits that angle, as they have a whopping strength of schedule advantage in terms of a much tougher schedule, Pittsburgh, than what Miami faced. And to be honest with you, not only is that in Pittsburgh's favor, Pittsburgh faced the 11th most difficult schedule this year. Miami just the 27th most difficult schedule this year in the NFL, but there's a lot of things going against Miami. How about the fact their defense has been absolutely miserable for the last few weeks? It's just been absolutely pathetic, really. A defense that's really had trouble stopping the run. They're allowing, almost 5 yards per carry, 140 yards per game on the ground. That's just not very good, and that's very bad news when you've got to face Le'Veon Bell, who's clearly an elite running back, one of the best in the NFL right now. Great vision, great patience, and when you're not fundamentally sound in your gap controls and controlling the edge and just playing fundamentally sound run defense, and Miami hasn't been playing fundamentally sound run defense, that's bad news against Le'Veon Bell. And of course, if Pittsburgh can run the football, that just opens everything up for the big play passing game from Ben Roethlisberger to Antonio Brown and that group of Steeler receivers. So it's a very poor matchup here for Miami's struggling defense, which got absolutely shredded down the stretch. Buffalo moved the football against them. New England moved the football against them down the stretch. I don't see them getting many stops here in this game. On the flip side, Miami's offense has been capable enough with Matt Moore, and of course he'll be back at quarterback. Ryan Tannehill still not ready to go. But at the same time, Matt Moore, if they fall behind in this game, Matt Moore's a gunslinger. He's a chance taker, as a risk taker. And if they fall behind, he's going to be still airing out the football and not hesitating to. And that's where he could get into trouble with turnovers, with interceptions. He's made plays, but he has also thrown an interception or two since taking over the starting role. And this Pittsburgh team might be able to capitalize on that. I think it's a poor matchup. You also have to remember it's going to be bone-chilling cold at Heinz Field for this game. A little bit of wind, too. Not heavy wind, but moderate wind. And that's a big reason why, initially I really was looking over the total in this game. I still think it's a decent bet here, but the wind does concern me a little bit. How Miami reacts to the cold concerns me a little bit. But more than anything, I think there's a tough matchup, tough spot, tough location. for Miami. Again, Pittsburgh rested everybody last week against Cleveland. It's going to be a fresh, ready to go, energized football team. I think you know where I'm going. We'll get back to this for video best bet at the end of the video. All right, we'll wrap it up with the New York Giants, Green Bay Packers, which could end up being the very best game on paper this weekend in wildcard weekend. Packers 4.5-point home favorite at Lambeau, total of 44.5. We've got another game just like in Pittsburgh. It's going to be very cold in Green Bay. Shouldn't really impact either team though. Green Bay's used to playing in the cold. The Giants are used to playing in the cold. Hell, Eli Manning has played in the frigid cold of Lambeau Field twice in the postseason in his career. He's got just as many postseason wins, Eli Manning, at Lambeau Field as Aaron Rodgers does. How about that, too? So we'll see if Eli can take the lead in that category here. And you know what? That's really the basis of this football game and who's going to win and who's not going to win. You know, I think Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay's offense was clicking so well late in the season that even the stout and strong New York Giant defense isn't going to completely shut them down. They could neutralize them. You know, they can hold Green Bay to 24 points or less, which I think they might be able to do, but they're not going to completely shut Green Bay down. Green Bay will still get some points. Green Bay will still move the football a little bit. The key is going to be, can Eli Manning get things going? Because this has been an underachieving offense. It's been a Giants team that has been carried by their defense all season long. However, if the Giants are finally going to get this offense going, there are reasons to believe they can. One, Eli Manning has been a great playoff performer in the past. There's no denying that. It's getting to the playoffs that has been an issue for Manning and the Giants at times. But once he gets in there, he's as dangerous a quarterback as you can find. The question is, can he flip that switch one more time and turn a mediocre and sometimes poor regular season for this Giants offense into a good playoff run? That remains to be seen, but if anyone can do it, it's Eli. He's not going to be scared of playing a road playoff game. He's won so many of them in the past. That's a positive. What's also working in the Giants' favor offensively here, Green Bay's got issues defensively in terms of injuries, specifically cluster injuries in the secondary. That secondary's decimated. They had no bodies left toward the end of that game against Detroit last Sunday night. I mean, they were already without Sam Shields. Demarius Randall got hurt. They lost another guy, too, at the end of that football game in the secondary. It's just an absolute mess in terms of cluster injuries. They're running out of bodies to put on the field to play pass defense, to play even an adequate pass defense, let alone good pass defense. So it's, I know the Giants offense through the air, especially on the ground and even at times through the air, has struggled, but you've still got Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, Victor Cruz. You've still got weapons at receiver that maybe can take advantage of a very depleted, very young, very inexperienced Green Bay secondary, which does seem to still have some injury concerns at that position going into this game on Sunday. So it's a tough game. I know the Giants I still feel are the better team defensively, and you're catching points. The Giants also fit that strength of schedule angle, which has gone 40-15-1 against the spread in the wild card round since 2002. Giants faced the 13th ranked toughest schedule in the NFL. Green Bay faced the 19th ranked toughest schedule in the NFL. So again, the strength of schedule angle fits the New York Giants here. They're an underdog. They're a better defense. It's not going to be easy. It's hard to, the Green Bay's been so good. Aaron Rodgers has been so good, especially at Lambeau. But I've got to lean a little bit here to the New York Giants, catching plus 4.5. This should be a tight game, a great game. And I think either team can win this game. And when either team can win the game, it's not a bad idea to take plus 4.5 points. And that's probably the way I'd look in this game. Was leaning over the total, 44.5. I think Green Bay is still not going to be shut down completely. I think the Giants can maybe make some plays against that depleted secondary of the Packers. Again, the cold weather is a concern, but cold doesn't impact scoring as much as the wind does, and the wind apparently is going to be light, so there should be opportunities for both offenses to make some plays on the frozen tundra of Lambeau on Sunday afternoon. All right, let's go back to Miami-Pittsburgh. It's our video best bet time for NFL Wildcard Weekend. We're going to lay some points. I don't normally like doing that, but I'm doing it here. I think it's a mismatch, and I think Pittsburgh rolls over the Miami Dolphins. We're going to lay it with the Steelers. Pittsburgh minus 10, rotation number 106. Pittsburgh minus 10 over the Miami Dolphins. That's your video best bet for NFL Wildcard Weekend. All right, enjoy the NFL Wildcard games this weekend. I'm Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.